everyone, and welcome back to Mariana Mass Books. My name is Mariana, and today I am here with a very, very belated video, book haul, deck haul, everything. Now it's really been really long since I filmed, and I feel like the longer that I've waited to film, the harder that it's been to sit down and do it. And I just thought, I need to get it over with, and I need to film. As you may know, if you've been watching my channel, I went on a trip to Scotland and Ireland, and that was a month ago, I think. And so I was away for that. I was very nervous about that trip, but it was amazing. I had the best time, and I'm not going to give you all the details, but it was amazing. But after the trip, uh, we all, my family, everyone, we got COVID, and so so I was, I had COVID. I couldn't film. I got too tired. And then after the COVID and after the trip, it's been a whole thing. It's been a whole thing. It's been really hard to get back into routine, for work. So I had to get back to the routine of filming for work, and that was too much work. And so after filming like the videos that I had to do for work, I didn't have any energy left to film booktube. Even though I did, there are many videos that I wanted to film, and that I'm not going to lie, I'll probably not film everything that I had in mind. I wanted to do a September wrap up where I was going to pair books with decks, with tarot decks, because tarot was the theme of the readathon. Not going to lie, I'm most likely not going to do that because I'm it's almost November. It's past, and now my mind is elsewhere. I wanted to do like a whole framed in September wrap up where I was going to talk about all the art that I saw on the trip. So, I'm just teasing you guys because I am not going to film any of that. I'm just going to leave you hanging with the ideas. Today, what I want to do is film a haul because, of course, I bought books, and I also bought some tarot decks, and I want to share them with you. So first I'm going to show you the books, and then I'm going to show you the decks, and as always all my videos are time-stamped so that you can see whatever it is that you are interested in. A while ago, my friend Elle from Elle Thinks, she did a book haul where she filmed it in a way where she was focusing more on where she bought everything. Or rather, like, she showed the books, but she was telling the story of the places she bought it and yeah, it was a haul where she talked about the story behind the purchase. And that's what I want to do today. I want to show you the books, but I'm also going to tell you where I got them. So without further ado, because I don't want to make this super long, and I always say this and I end up making it super long. So I'm just going to start filming. Start with a haul showing books. So I did organize them sort of by categories. So of course, while in the UK, one has to buy some Tolkien. And there was this little shop in Edinburgh called John Kay's Bookshop. It's very shiny, but I got this pretty bookmark there. So John Kay's Bookshop is in Victoria Street, which is a very cute street with a lot of shops, very colorful, very touristy, but very beautiful. Beautiful little street, beautiful little shop. I wanted to get everything. There were books, there were prints, there was merch, bookmarks, toys. I wanted to get everything, but one has to consider the space. And looking at everything I brought back, it's like it looks like I wasn't concerned about space, but I was. So I had to make decisions. So the first thing that I got was Smith of Wootton Mayor by J.R.R. Tolkien. I've always wanted to read this. It's supposed to be super good. I feel like people talk about it being very good. I'm really looking forward for this, and I was super excited to find these editions of these. I don't know, if you're a Tolkien fan, I feel like you know these beautiful editions that they do with his work, and it has like the pretty inner illustrated end papers, and yeah, so there was a collection of 3. So it was Smith of Wootton Mayor, Farmer Giles of Ham, which I've also always wanted to read, and now I'm not sure if the one that people love is the Farmer or the Wootton Mayor one. I don't remember. Both I really want to read. And so it was a collection of 3. So it was this one, the Wootton Mayor, and the Adventures of Tom Bombadil. And so I wanted to get all 3, but I also really wanted to get this Tolkien dictionary. It's literally a dictionary with different things from Tolkien. It's again, if you're a Tolkien fan, you know these like leathery type paperback. There are box sets with The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and that you have the map end papers and the inner illustrations, and I really wanted to get this. Dictionary, and not only space but also budget wise, I was like, okay, I'm going to get 3 books. So I had to make choices, and so I didn't get The Adventures of Tom Bombadil, and there was a logic behind that, because I actually went into Amazon while I was there to see which books were available to me. And the Tom Bombadil, I feel like it's more common, so that one was available, but the Wootton Mayor and Farmer Giles wasn't. And then the dictionary was only available getting it through box sets, not just individually. And so in the end I decided to get those 2 and the dictionary. And then for some non-fiction, a really, 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 really cool bookshop that we visited in Edinburgh, that if you're there, please go check it out. It's called the Lighthouse Bookshop, and it says Scotland's leading political bookshop. So this is the bookmark. It says, "Resist my people, resist them. Darin Tatur, Palestinian poet." So you can get the idea of the type of bookshop that it is. My sister and I really wanted to go, and again, I wanted to buy everything there, but I didn't. And so I narrowed it down to looking through the entire selection of disability justice, because not many bookshops in the world, I don't think I've ever seen any bookshop other than this one that have a disability justice shelf. I was very excited about it, so I literally went through every single book in the disability justice bookshelf. There were many that I wanted, obviously, and I used a lot of criteria to make my selection. So I ended up getting 3 books. I already read one of them, actually, for Shorty September, and that is this one, the shortiest Shorty. It's called Own Sweet Time, A Diagnosis and Notes by Caroline Clark. and it's literally a diagnosis and notes. So the book is formatted like this, and on this side you get one text, and then on this side you get another text. And so on one side you get a literal transcript of which is this side. You get a literal transcript of the conversation that Caroline Clark had with her physician when she got her diagnosis for breast cancer. So this one is literally a conversation with her husband, and the doctor when they gave her her diagnosis. And then this side is just random thoughts, random notes. And actually that was my favorite part. So every note starts with 3 dots, and it's just a random, not connected thought. So for instance, you get something like, I pull, a satisfying click release, the wet end with the follicle. I touch it to my lips. Discard. Repeat. One day I'll stop. And that's the whole note. And then then you would get another one that's just, we were terrified too. If it was like this now, what would it be like when she was a teenager? What problems will she have then? How will she cope as an adult? Because she's combining notes of her diagnosis, of her life, of her family life, of her experiences. And so you just get the small snippets of notes on one side, and then on the other the transcript of the diagnosis. So again, when I've done Shorty September videos, I always talk about how I love books like this that are just random tidbits of stuff, like even mixed media stuff where you get like a poem, a photograph, an illustration, that type of thing. And so just this random shorty with notes and a transcript about a diagnosis, right up my alley. Yeah, not much to say about it. This is not a wrap up. This is a haul. I haven't. Okay, I'm going to move this along. Okay, this next one I am very excited about. It's called Lean Out by Dawn Foster. This one is like a response critique to Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. Sheryl Sandberg wrote a business advice / self-helpy book for women called Lean In. There is very much this type of like self-help for CEOs that then gets sold and becomes a bestseller, and so then people who are not CEOs, who are the majority of people, read those books and end up getting the advice that these authors are giving, upper class, white, privileged people with CEO type jobs. And so I see it a lot here in Mexico. I teach time management. I've talked about this before. And you get these bestsellers that talk about time management that are geared towards that demographic and in the United States. And then you get this book here that is a bestseller that everyone recommends. And you get a single mom, Mexican mom in Mexico, with a very different economic situation, with a very different cultural situation, getting the advice of that was geared towards American white CEO women, and feeling bad because she can't follow that advice and wondering what she can change. And I hate that. And so this book is a critique to lean in, to specifically to lean in, because it's that critic, but you know, those books in general. And again, it's called Lean Out, and I love the cover because it's a hand with dishwashing glove on, and just like flipping off, you know. It's so cool. I can't wait to read this one. And then I bought Kate Moss An Extra Pair of Hands, which is about caregivers, you know, being a caregiver to a sick person. The author, she took, or an elderly person, she took care of her elderly parents. And so it's a reflection on that, on being a caregiver, and when people need an extra pair of hands. And again, also very excited about this one, and this one has a very pretty cover. Look. I said I was going to move this along. I don't see that happening. Okay, next. Okay. Oh, this is the last set of books. So then in that same bookshop in the Lighthouse, they had a shelf for Scottish authors. Of course, I had to buy something from there, and I chose some poetry because, of course. And so I got Nan Shepherd's In the Cairngorms. And this is super cool. Look at the cover. It is a super beautiful edition. First published in 1934, In the Cairngorms is Nan Shepherd's only book of poems. So she's a novelist, but her only poetry collection was published in 1934. And this publishing company, which I can't read because I don't have my glasses, Galison? No. Galilee? No, I don't know. I can't read. Anyway, it's a republishing of the 1934 poem, and you can see. Oh, I have a bookmark here. I'll show it. And you can see it's also illustrated, and it's very cool. And I have a bookmark in it because I'm actually reading it. And really loving it. Oh, hold on, let me put another bookmark. I don't want to miss my page. Okay, this is the bookmark that was in it. I bought this in a small like artists Tronkirk Market. So if you're in Edinburgh, check out Tronkirk Market. It's on the Royal Mile. And then so that was everything I got in Edinburgh for books. Then I went to Dublin, and the next one I'm going to show you is also poetry. And I went to the Book of Kells experience in the Trinity College Old Library in Dublin. If you like medieval art, history, everything, you cannot miss the Book of Kells experience if you're in Dublin. It's a must. It's amazing. I love it so much. I bought a bookmark. I bought several bookmarks for people, but I bought this one for me. I hate that everything is shiny, but it's metallic, and it's from the Book of Kells. But anyway, there I bought a book of poetry because I thought, I bought a book of poetry in Scotland from a Scottish author. I'm going to buy a poetry collection in Ireland from an Irish author. And so I bought District and Circle by Seamus Heaney, who translated Beowulf, and I have already read his translation of Beowulf, which I really loved. And so when I saw this one, I thought, oh, I'm going to get some poetry by him. I didn't know he also wrote poetry. It is amazing. This one I already read. I read this one on the plane back. When you read this one, you do think of Belfast, because actually he's from Northern Ireland. So I bought this in Dublin, but he's from Northern Ireland, just to clarify that. And then one final bookmark that I'm going to show you is this one that I bought in the Christchurch, Christchurch Cathedral in Dublin. My dad and I went to two Dublin cathedrals, the St. Patrick's and the Christchurch, and I bought this one there. Well, my dad bought it for me, and I love it so much because it's an image of Mary with it's like a Madonna and child, um, and it has a prayer in the back, and it's very pretty. And then I want to show you the guidebooks type of books that I bought because I'm also very excited about those, and I already read one and I can't wait to read the others. So the first one that is from that same church is this one, and this is a small guide to the stained glass in the. I was obsessed with the stained glass everywhere. Obsessed. Okay, I'm not going to talk about it. This is why I wanted to do a wrap up for Framed in September where I talked about the art. And this one is really cool because it has inside, I mean, information about the stained glass, but then also pictures. And I'm not going to lie. Now that I've read it, I might core it and use it for collage. And I mean, like this image of like the Mary and Joseph with baby Jesus in the donkey, I could frame this and put it in my room. Anyway, so this one. And then in Edinburgh Castle, I of course bought the guide for Edinburgh Castle. I feel like I also wanted to do a video for Historathon where I talked about all the history stuff that I saw in the trip. I wanted to make so many videos, but I got COVID. So blame COVID, you're not getting any of those. But this one is so cool. Like pictures, information. I feel like if I read this before, like these guides before the end of the year, they might make it into my favorite books of the year, not going to lie. And then also from Scotland I got the guide for the National Museum of Scotland, which was my favorite place that we visited during the whole trip. I would love to go back. I would love to go back and revisit the exhibits that I fell in love with. There was a really cool tapestry called The Triumph of Prudence, and if any tarot people are watching this, I am obsessed with the virtues since I started learning about Minchiati. I'm not going to dive into it because probably not everyone are tarot people watching this video, but the virtues are my current obsession. I love them. I want to frame some virtues art for my room, and there was a huge tapestry with Prudence in her chariot, which is exactly the chariot that you see in the Visconti medieval Italian tarot decks. I'm going to stop talking about tarot, but I'm just going to say, if you like history, tarot is an art. Tarot, like, look into historical tarot, at least art historians. Anyway, end rant. This is a guidebook for the museum, and again, pictures. I'm so excited. And finally, and this is going to be the hardest one to show because it's so big. So in Belfast, we went to the Titanic Museum experience. I feel like I can't decide if my favorite thing ever was the National Museum of Scotland or the Titanic experience. And that one was a design gasm. Museography. I don't know if museography is a word in English, but it's a word in Spanish. And it was a museography gasm. As a graphic designer, who is obsessed and whose favorite part of design is the conceptualizing of projects, the Titanic Belfast experience was a design gasm. I cannot. It's the only word that fits. I wanted to take my friends. I wanted to geek out with them. I wanted so bad. I mean, the museum is amazing. You can what there are many videos about it. If you're curious, go watch them. It's a museum like you've never been in a museum like that. Just like if you love Titanic, it's a must bucket list item. You have to go. But from the standpoint of just walking around, experiencing the museum, and thinking, I would love to have a chat with the people behind this museum. I want to know how it was conceptualized, how the project began, how you came to this conclusion, like how you put your ideas into reality, who designed the way that the visitors are going to visit the museum. You start at the top, you end up at the bottom. Just conceptually for Titanic, that is a genius decision. I just want to geek out about that. And so after I finished the museum, I went to a gift shop and I thought, I really want a book. Hopefully I will find a book not about the Titanic, because I have read non-fiction books about it. I have watched the movie, I have watched videos. I actually reread one of the books in the plane home because I was obsessed again. I wanted a book about the museum, about the construction of the museum, about the conceptualizing of the project, just information about the project in itself. And I did find one. I was so excited. I love that these kinds of things exist. I wish that in Mexico that was a thing, because there are museums in Mexico that I would love to get coffee table books that are just about the museum in itself, not about the exhibits, not about the pieces in it, about the museum, the history of the museum in itself. I wish that kind of thing was done here. So I was super excited to see this one, and it's like a coffee table book type of thing, but it does have a lot of text as well as pictures, and it's Building Titanic Belfast. So it is about this is the building, and I don't think I can open it on camera because it's so big and heavy. But I was so excited to find that book, and it is about the museum. So those are the books. I wanted to show you the decks too. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do this to myself, because even if I don't show the cards in detail, I'm going to want to talk about why I bought them, where I bought them, the shops I got them at. And it's going to be another half an hour, and I'm running out of energy to do this. So I'm going to leave this as a book haul, and then I'm going to film a deck haul. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you soonish or soon or whenever, and in the meantime I wish you happy reading.